I've been a Halo fan for over 20 years, and I've never personally seen a bigger missed opportunity for this franchise than what has happened with Halo Infinite's in-game shop. Over the past year, I have made at least one weekly video covering Halo Infinite shop, and these weekly videos have received millions of views in total. Tens of thousands of Halo fans and myself checked out the Halo Infinite shop together every week, and we often reacted with confusion and disappointment at the items offered in the shop. I believe Microsoft has quite literally lost out on millions of dollars in revenue because of truly staggering levels of missed opportunities here. There's been multiple points over this past year where I have wondered if what I was witnessing was some kind of sabotage. Halo is a more than 20-year-old franchise with an incredibly rich and beloved universe of material to draw from. But despite having such a vast universe at their disposal, 343 Industries has somehow managed to not include a variety of what should have been relatively straightforward and guaranteed hit items in Halo Infinite's shop. With just a few ideas I will present in this video, it will be easy to show you the incredible missed opportunities that I believe have cost Microsoft millions of dollars. Not only are the missed opportunities staggering, but the in-game shop has seen no significant improvement and has regressed in many ways over the past year. Recently, the shop has been mostly filled with repeat items and items so overpriced it caused backlash across all social spaces. If you knew nothing but that, you would think development on this game was canceled and Xbox was doing nothing more than just maintaining the servers. Important to note, by the way, is that more and more gamers are justifiably pushing back against microtransactions in video games. But the fact is that as annoying as shops can be in video games, they are critical to a free-to-play game success. If a live service game shop fails to make profit, support for the game can end. Halo Infinite is the first ever free-to-play Halo game, and it shifted customization options that used to be unlocked from playing or by default, such as colors, to the game's in-game shop and thus behind a paywall. But at the same time, Halo Infinite introduced all new areas of customization to Halo, including multiplayer AIs, weapon models, kill effects, Spartan weapon and vehicle cores, vehicle models, and Spartan effect sets. These new areas of customization were the perfect avenues to introduce a variety of items that could sell extremely well without upsetting more than a minority of the fan base. Trying to sell something that used to be unlockable by playing in past Halo games upsets Halo fans, but all new items don't set off that trigger as much. Multiplayer AI in Halo Infinite provides some entertainment value and relatively valuable information to the player, and no other Halo game has had this feature. New multiplayer AIs have been a purchasable item in the game, either through the shop or battle passes, but none of the AI voices feature any of the most iconic characters from the Halo universe. Not even Cortana, who is essentially just as popular as Master Chief and has worldwide name recognition. Cortana has so much name recognition that Microsoft even named their Windows operating system assistant tool Cortana. Ideally, a Cortana AI would have been unlockable for free in the game, or maybe came with the paid campaign for Halo Infinite, but as a shop item, Cortana would have made millions. And it's not like I'm the only person in the world who could come up with this idea. A YouTube channel created a fake Cortana multiplayer AI demo video that got 90,000 views. Devoid from Halo Infinite are a host of other iconic characters such as Sergeant Johnson, 343 Guilty Spark, and the Arbiter. Instead, the purchasable AI item that has been in the shop the most is Mr. Chief, which is perhaps one of the least recognizable types of characters you could offer for sale, because Mr. Chief isn't even an official character in any of the games. Even more strange is that Mr. Chief was actually used to mock Halo fans that did not like Halo 5's microtransaction system, which of course was Halo Infinite's predecessor. You can see why I've wondered if I've been witnessing some kind of sabotage, because choosing to create a relatively obscure AI for sale like Mr. Chief instead of Cortana is exactly what you would do if sabotage was your goal. Halo Infinite peaked at 20 million players post-launch, so I think it's reasonable to say that AIs based on even just a handful of the franchise's iconic characters would have made millions. And this is just the AIs we're talking about here. Halo Infinite introduced weapon and vehicle models to Halo, as well as weapon and vehicle cores. Models add new attachments to weapons and vehicles, and cores theoretically would allow users to change the entire look of a weapon or a vehicle, but to date there have been no new cores added to the game. The only new cores added to the game since launch have been armor cores. Since Halo is of course a first-person shooter, Weapon models in particular are a high value item because players like to buy items that change the things they can actually see while they play. This is why Fortnite items, for example, have been so wildly successful. But despite this, in Halo Infinite, there have been an extremely limited number of these first-person focused items offered for sale, with some of the game's most important and popular weapons like the sniper rifle, commando rifle, and bulldog having absolutely no model changing items at all. I think it's debatable whether more models would have brought in millions of dollars more in revenue from Microsoft, but when it comes to cores, I don't think the missed opportunities are debatable. One thing that makes Halo special is that the weapons are consistent and cannot be modified, which creates a level playing field, unlike games like Call of Duty where players can modify weapons. Because of this, in Halo, the look of the weapon is mostly irrelevant in terms of the gameplay. And so offering different models is not an issue from a gameplay perspective. There's a nearly unlimited amount of weapon cores Microsoft could have offered for sale that I believe would have generated millions in revenue. The assault rifle and battle rifles have had many different iterations from Halo's inception in 2001. Classic weapon cores would have sold extremely well in the shop. Halo CE cores, Halo 2 cores, Halo 3 cores, Halo Reach cores, you get the picture. Halo fans would have loved to purchase and use these new cores, and the nostalgia alone would have generated millions. Themed weapon cores would have been a massive hit as well, such as a set of samurai weapon cores to go with the Yori armor core, for example. The possibilities to create these high-value, first-person focused items are infinite, unlike the game. And of course, everything applicable to potential weapon models and cores works on vehicles as well, such as having classic-styled warthogs for sale. Using vehicles in Halo is one of the few times the game switches to third person, which means players can actually see their customization, which makes vehicle items high value, just like weapon customization. Yet Halo Infinite's selection of customization for vehicles is just about as limited as the weapons. The missed opportunities in including vehicle cores from past games and themed vehicles is equally as perplexing as with the same failure to do so with weapons. It is astonishing how much nostalgia was used in Halo Infinite's marketing, with now former head of 343 Industries Studio, Bonnie Ross, calling the game a spiritual reboot before launch. Yet the in-game shop has failed to leverage nostalgia in any of the easy and foreseeably successful ways I've just outlined with weapons and vehicles. Halo Infinite's shop has also been devoid of items that sell extremely well in other shooter games, like reactive colors for characters and weapons, as well as collabs with other popular IPs. Instead, the bulk of items in Halo Infinite's shop have been lackluster at best. Most of the armor coatings in the game, which are the only way for a player to customize their color, are relatively simple combinations of primary colors with some coatings featuring metallic colors. In past Halo games, players could choose virtually every basic color known to humanity, but in Halo Infinite, basic colors like a pure white coating don't even exist. The same is true for weapons, where the average weapon barely has 10 to 20 colors to choose from. Color customization in Halo Infinite is even more limited with weapons than player characters, despite the fact that you mainly see the weapons when you're playing. I believe there's no question that Microsoft has lost millions from failing to have enough customization options for weapons, Spartans, and vehicles. There is strong circumstantial evidence for this as well, because some of the very customization items that are more along the lines of what I've mentioned were extremely popular in the Halo community, such as this flashy purple metallic coating that was part of a nail polish promotion, and this granular coating that was a pre-launch promotional item that ended up selling for thousands on eBay post-launch. Players want fun, unique, and meaningful items with a range of freedom to mix and match them as they see fit. But Halo Infinite is mostly filled with dull and highly limited customization options. Iconic characters as purchasable AIs, classic and themed weapon and vehicle cores, more color options for Spartans, weapons, and vehicles are what Halo Infinite should have had and foreseeably would have made Microsoft millions of more dollars in profit on a game that had 20 million players post-launch and still is seen to this day as one of Xbox's most important and most iconic game franchises of all time. And I haven't even touched on Halo Infinite's shop lacking basic profit-generating features we see in other games, such as letting players buy individual items out of bundles and having a catalog of items that are always available. In the year after launch, there have been no significant improvements to Halo Infinite Shop, and it has been mostly filled with the exact items 343 should have avoided and devoid of the items that would have sold the best. There is, of course, nothing stopping Microsoft and 343 from taking ideas from this video and making these items to sell in Halo Infinite. I would actually love to see that, but like the vast majority of games, most of the player base has moved on already, and thus the potential for profit. Halo, the console seller franchise credited with revolutionizing shooter games on console and making Xbox a success, a franchise with a rich and deep 20-year-old universe, failed to leverage any of this in the game's in-game shop, which is the most important part of the game in terms of keeping it profitable and thus supportable into the future for Xbox. And that's why I find the incredible missed opportunities here so fascinating, and I hope you did too.